Wednesday. And Citizens United, hi, I'm your host, John Restaino. You know who I am. But sitting next to me, to my left, is local political scientist, North Tonawanda resident, Jacob Ryan Quinn. Hey,
John.
how's it going?
Good. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, we're happy to have you, man. Really happy. Yeah, here, don't worry about it. We're good. Hey, how's everyone doing? Robin, how you doing up there? John's back there.
I'm good.
We got our sports show Friday, and then of course Wade. Hey, Wade.
Hey, how are you?
Good, looks great. I want to say real quick because in between, I had my surgery on my neck, and Mercy Hospital in Buffalo were outstanding, and I just want to say thank you. They were awesome. Everyone there was so nice, and made a nerve-wracking time, kind of not so bad, even though it sucked. But anyhow, how's everybody? All right, everyone good? Hot day today outside. Wade, beautiful day. Yeah. Robin, how do you feel? All right over there?
Feeling good.
Yeah, well, we got a lot to get to tonight.
Yeah.
We got a lot to get to tonight. Tonight we're going to have, you see Jacob right next to me. We're going to get into some stuff here in a second. But don't forget, after this show, then we're going to have the second part. It's like the Twilight doubleheader. You're going to have the second show, which will come. We'll probably take about a 5-10 minute break. Be right back. All right, Mr. Quinn. Man, you're a lightning rod. You are. No matter what happens, you cause a reaction. You know what? I got to ask you, why? Why do you think?
Well, I'm North Tonawanda scapegoat when something goes bump in the night. Anything political, for that matter, they like to blame it on me because I'm probably the most outspoken individual within the city limits.
Yeah. We get you. We understand that here. I mean, you. I mean, just putting you out there today, being on the show, we got a lot. We got a lot of comments, like from, people that we generally don't get much from. I think they do watch the show sometimes, but you know what I want to ask you before we get into what's going to go on in the anti-mayoral race, things like that. I think it's a good idea that we get to know you a little bit, and I think a lot of people out there don't know anything, and probably wouldn't be a bad idea to know people before you are really too upset with them. Are we okay? Anything happening? Oh, okay, we good? All right. What are you going to do? It's live. All right, so we need to get to know who you are. You know what I want to start with? Ideology. You are a Republican.
Yeah,
Registered member of a Young Republicans group at one time, or still?
I like to support these kind of groups. Anyone who fits my ideology. I'd like to consider myself more of a central right, because there are some things on the Democratic side that I do agree with, but I see myself as more of a conservative Christian, if anything.
Okay, so you consider yourself center right. All right, nice. All right, and that's pretty much. I mean, North Tonawanda, Niagara County itself. I mean, is that? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, for the most part.
Right. I mean, it really is. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, it's you get out of Niagara Falls, and it really, that's all it is.
North Tonawanda is the greatest city in America, if you ask me.
You thought? I love North Tonawanda too. I love North Tonawanda. Well, just Niagara Falls, where I grew up and where I'm at now, should be the greatest city in the world. When you think about it, with what we have, I mean, you can't ask for any more. We have the falls, we have the border, we know it's closed, and New York State kind of stops us from capitalizing in a lot of ways, but that's just an excuse. We also have a lot of empty buildings that Niagara Falls Redevelopment bought, and it's been sitting there. They've been sitting there for 25 years and nothing happening. All right, so your ideology is you would consider yourself center right, Christian, conservative. Would you put yourself in the mold? Do you remember? I don't want to say him, but remember George W. when he called himself a compassionate conservative? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
What do you think? Is that?
I would like to say so. I'm very compassionate. Me and George Bush have some similarities, I think, but he hit the booze a little bit too hard.
Right. Yeah, right. That's true. Who were your influences?
My influences?
Yeah, politically, let's say.
Politically, I'm a big, are we talking alive or just overall?
Overall.
I liked See, I was a big fan of George Washington. I know every person who likes politics and involved with George Washington. But here's something a lot of people don't know, and it might come as a surprise. I actually am a big John Kennedy fan. Actually,
Yeah.
I thought that he was the last great Democrat to run. I thought his message and having, with how he thinks, what could you do for your government? I thought
Right.
he was a great guy. Unfortunately, the mob took him out. So what are you going to do?
Right.
But
Yeah.
But guys like that, real stand-up characters would be my biggest influences.
How did you? And I just want to ask you this because someone who's out there listening, I want to hear your answer. For someone who's out there listening, they know who they are. John McCain.
Okay.
What did you think of John McCain? What did you feel about him?
I think that at one point he could have been a good president, but I think given the situation when he ran, he was a little bit too old school for the time and what we needed.
Right.
Not saying that I support Obama or anything. I couldn't even vote at that time, but just looking at the trends with politics, it was going to turn to Democrat, whether it's John McCain. He just didn't have that youthfulness that President Obama had.
Right, and that's why Palin comes in and kind of gives him a boost there, a
Yeah.
quick shot of adrenaline.
Yeah,
You know?
I know we're going to talk about this more, but that's identity politics for you.
Yes, yeah, it sure is, and that's seems to be what a lot of Niagara County. Let's talk about the NT mayor's race, because I know it's Art Pappas is the mayor, and he's not going to run, so that gives us Austin Tylick, 28 years old, I believe, 29, Democrat, against Robert Pecoraro. Both are aldermen. You know what, man? Have at it. What do we want to talk about? Where do we want to start with this? Let's talk about Bob first, Pecoraro.
Okay.
I mean, it's obvious just from knowing you and knowing what we've talked about and see online. Obviously, you're going to vote. You're going to vote for Pecoraro. You know what I'm saying? For the Republican in this fight.
Yeah.
Probably.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to vote for Austin if that's what you're saying.
Yeah, right. That's what I was trying to say. Yeah. No. Okay. So you're going to have Pecoraro. What do you think? What do you think of him? What do you think of him as being the leader of the city?
I think that he's going to lead the city like he led his army battalion and in the army base in Italy that he ran. I think that leadership-wise, he knows what he's doing. Now, I'm not trying to criticize, but I'll be honest here.
Mm-hmm.
Is that with our financial issues that we're having in the city, do we need a militaristic guy? Like I said, he's a good guy. I've actually, I've helped do mailers for him. He's not a bad person. He's a good guy. I've met him on several occasions. But given the circumstances, yeah, I'm going to vote for him. But I think that right now NT needs somebody that we just don't have right now. Somebody who is financially intelligent, somebody who has a vision for where they want to see this city in the next 5 to 10 years. We need somebody who wants to actually commit to the city, not use the position to catapult themselves to another position, and that's the issue right now.
Right.
We need somebody who actually believes in North Tonawanda, like myself. Like I believe in North Tonawanda. I think that it's a great city to bring up a child. That's where I grew up my whole life, and I just feel like we need somebody who actually wants to put in the time. And it's not a good paying job. Politics was never intended to be a lifelong career. But you need to find somebody willing to sacrifice their time and energy for the greater good of North Tonawanda. And I just think that out of the two, Bob Pecoraro, he's probably the best man for the job given. He's retired. He has that extra time on his hands. So, I mean, it's not like he's got a whole life ahead of him. Unlike Austin, where, from my understanding, this isn't his first time wanting to run for something else. I know that he spoke with the people for Eric Schillinger's seat last year when Bob Pecoraro ran against Bill Conrad. Austin also was going to put his name in his hat, but in the hat, but unfortunately they kind of saw through Austin's BS because they're not from North Tonawanda, so they were looking at it from a different perspective. And I think that's why a lot of people come at me, sideways and like to try to bring down my character because they're too tribalized. They're too They're like, I don't want to compare them to like jihadists or anything like terror, but they are so passionate and so so idolized, they're so involved with that they just don't see it from a different perspective. I think that, anyone who's watching the show, even if you don't live in North Tonawanda, needs to look past the Niagara County lens that we're so used to looking at, like the New York lens. Like, we can't always look at things like our hometown is the biggest place in the world, because it isn't. But we need to branch out, look from different perspectives, and say what's working here, and what could work here, instead of just thinking I live in NT, I'm from NT, or I'm from New York. With this COVID thing going on, I traveled a little bit, and it's kind of like the same idea. Is that when I went to a different state, I went to Virginia last summer while this was all going on. And people were living their lives like nothing had happened, and then you come back home and everyone's like robotic. They're like, "Oh, we gotta follow you." I'm like, you have to get out of this New York State thinking right now. The rest of the world's still moving. We just are being subjected to the media and the environment out here that's crippling us as a society. And not to get away from
no, that's fine. We're this is Citizens United, of course. If you have any questions for Mr. Quinn, myself, anyone else in this room. Just make sure you go to the message board. Robin is checking it. Robin, anything on there right now?
I do have a comment from Kate Wisner. She said he's not a political scientist. John, if you'd like someone with a verifiable political science degree, hit me up.
All right.
I thought she was a computer analysis. I guess being in Austin's clique, you can be anything, anytime. And that's the thing. Kate, she's one of my biggest fans. She is always there for me every time I come. And I think, and they take this so seriously too. It's hilarious. Like, these people actually think that I'm obsessed with Austin, and I find that hilarious.
Right. No,
it's funny.
Now, wait a minute. She's saying you don't have a degree.
I do have a degree.
Right, in political science.
Political science. And I've done research.
All right.
I've done reports. I have a degree. So I don't know. Like I said, once again, this is just a simple attack on my character. They don't actually have anything valid to say. They're just trying to attack my character.
Let's make sure that everyone realizes, the show is open to anybody at any time. I mean, I've always liked doing this. Even when I did my show on a different network, I mean, it was always, you want to come in, come in. You want to, I'll give you the hour. I'll give you all the time you want. Because I think that's good. I think we need to get to know people. I think we need to get to know Jacob here. We need to. Because all you hear, if you go by what you hear, it's, it's unbelievable. And I know how that works. Robin, anything else before I move forward? We're good? Okay, remember, any questions, Robin will be checking it. Well, let's get into it, man. Austin Tylik is a familiar name, a big name. Right, I mean, just like my last name, familiar. It's known. It's a familiar name. So when you get out there and you're going to start there, you have a little bit of a head start, because if your dad or your mom or your whoever, or uncles, brothers, had good, were good, gave goodwill, there's a lot of good political capital out there for them. Austin uses that. I would assume. Now that's fine, right? I mean, sure, I could see why. Let's talk about the picture that we got. There you go. Now, in that picture, we have to talk about, because it was in the, there's no way around it. Can you verify Jacob, could you just say would you say 100% in your mind that's him?
Yes, that is Austin Tylik, unedited.
Okay. Now, we've talked to Austin, right? Wait, a couple times. Never on air. We would like to get him on air.
We got him on air. It was
a long time ago. Yes. Yes, way back when, right. And that was over that was when we were mad about the reporter. The pay-for-play thing with NT and all that stuff. But did he ever answer this to us?
No.
No, right?
No, Austin's afraid. And I don't mean to be so brash, but I can give you many examples. Like, for instance, when the city attorney was looking for a raise, Austin was one of the only people on the council to veto that, or he said nay. He voted nay. He voted against. Now, actually, against his better judgment, the city attorney was calling Austin out on Facebook, and he was really like most aggressive I've ever seen Luke Brown get, and Austin completely clammed up. Austin's not a confrontational person. He has his people like Miss Kate Winster or Ella May or John Lupo. He has his Facebook warriors, or I like to call them the hit squad, go after anybody or anything that has anything negative to say about Austin. I mean, he's smart. Why wouldn't he? He saves face and he has other people do his dirty work. Me, on the other hand, I welcome the dirty work. I would love to debate him. I would love to. He called me a liar.
Right.
To the public on that news article. He
Right.
said that picture was a fake. Well, I hate to break it to you, Austin, but little did you know, I was friends with Mike Rhodes back in high school. Actually, we all used to go to Joelle Kistner's. You probably know her too. You graduated with her. And we all used to hang out, and we followed each other on Instagram. And that's the best part about this, is I found that picture before anyone else did. And the Republicans at the time praised me, because
Right.
that was like finding the Holy Grail to them. And who knows what's going to happen to it. I don't know. I'm not in with them at the moment. They want to play touch and go. But what I'm saying is this. To say that I'm a liar and that I fabricated the picture is wrong. Because also the other pictures I posted showed Mike's Instagram. His ex-boyfriend or girl, I don't know how they play the game, but whatever it may be, they posted that picture. Ask anyone from his high school graduating year. Ask that guy who made that video with, that Adolf was at the open.
Yeah,
the
yes.
Canal Fest.
That's Canal Fest, yeah.
He laughingly jokes about it. So if he thinks that's funny, the Adolf Hitler as a Halloween gag is funny. What else does he think is funny?
Right. What would you say that was, like probably senior in high school? Is that what you're looking at? Probably
senior
8.
in high school, maybe freshman in college.
Remember-
It wasn't yesterday.
Wait, remember this discussion? Remember when we had this when we were at the other studio?
I do remember.
Yeah.
We were talking. We were originally praising Mr. Tylek about just a few weeks before that was how he was the only person in the council who spoke out against and voted against the reporter.
Right.
That
Not.
giving all that money and what
Yeah.
was going to happen throughout the reporter would have been.
Yeah, we were very and still friendly. I'm not saying we were. We're still friendly. There's no reason not to be. We're definitely friendly. I just recall that night, and this was when we were out of. It was us. It was when it was me, you, and Lisa, and I remember that night because we kind of almost begrudgingly put the picture up. Remember, because we were like, oh my God, what is this? And we were really like just kind of. Yeah, like we didn't even know how to deal with it.
Right.
And I think the picture deserves an answer. I'm
That's what
sorry.
told
I think it.
Mr. I got into a crazy heated argument over that picture
Right.
that we put up against the past chairman of the Niagara County Democrats.
Zona. Yes, right. That's right. With him,
and
yeah.
This was all over that picture.
Yeah.
And all I stated was because he was attacking the young Republicans. I said if this was a young Republican who was in this picture, it would just be more ammo for you, Zona. Like, why can't you just state to Tylek that this is wrong?
It's wrong,
Tylek
yeah.
should make an apology about it, saying how it was inappropriate. Now, Zona didn't.
Right.
Zona, you know what Zona did.
Yeah, it went on.
He always is. Good thing he's not chairman anymore. But that's all that had to be done here was an apology, own up to it. If you claim to be the leader that you are, as you say, then, you own up to mistakes.
Robin, something on Facebook for us?
Yes. A question from James Hill. He said, I've heard rumors Jake has an arrest record. Is there any truth to that?
Go ahead.
It's a very valid question. I, like many people, 1 out of 4 to be exact, was arrested for DWI. No different than Austin's dad, so, it happens to everybody. Happens to politicians, happens to normal people. I did my time, I owned up to it. Anything else you may or may not have heard was litigation. Nothing. You can look all you want. Litigation. And, at the same time, speaking of his dad, I think that, honestly, Austin has none of his own ideas. I think this is all based off of DWIs to begin with, because Austin's dad vicariously lives through Austin, and all of his ideas come through his dad. I mean, this is a guy who bought a house in NT so he could look better when he was running. His dad used to mow the lawn, maintain the whole property. Like, Austin doesn't do anything for himself. His dad vicariously lives through him because his dad's politic run got cut short because of a DWI. But nobody condemns John Tylek. Nobody. But the difference is between John and Austin is John has more honor than Austin because John owned up to his mistake and he resigned. Austin can't even own up to a simple Hitler mistake. I got a question for Austin out there. If the picture did happen and it's no big deal, why say I lied about it? Why say it was a fake? But if it isn't a big deal, then, you know what I'm saying? It makes no sense to me.
It has to be a big, I'm sorry, it has to be, I don't care who it was, it has to be a big deal. It has to. I mean, some people tried to say, oh, maybe he was Charlie Chaplin or all this other stuff. Look, as Wade said, and this is crazy because we have this going on with someone in Niagara Falls too. It would be so easy to just come out and say, look, mistake, sorry, you know, and not more, not like that, you know, give a real thing, sincere, why you know it's wrong. And I'm sure sitting there, hopefully, at whatever age you are now, you know it was unbelievably wrong. You don't do that, and that's it. I don't know why these guys won't do it, man. It's so easy.
It's a double standard because he's a Democrat. If Bob Pecoraro had a picture with a little Hitler mustache, oh my goodness, he would have had to resign months ago. If Senator Orr had a picture dressed as Hitler, had to resign. It's this democratic double standard because once again, like I brought up earlier with Austin, it's identity politics. That's all. He's got no idea. He has no good ideas of his own. He has no solutions to fixing NT. This is the same guy who wants to destroy NT and build it in his own vision. No ideas, nothing. Austin, he's just playing identity politics, you know. And personally, I don't agree with it.
Now, you know, it's funny you say that about the Democrats. We were talking earlier, and I know darn well if you switch it all around, the Democrats will be doing what the Republicans do, how the Republicans do what they do on the legislature. And, you know, guys like Mark Parrish, or whatever his name is, he ends up finding a job in the legislature. It's kind of insane. How does that happen? But whatever. My point is, though, Laura Allen. Laura Allen's a perfect example of all this. I mean, Laura Allen, after what that hidden tape said, probably shouldn't be involved with the public anymore. And of course, she's still there. And
was this story 3 weeks old and everybody forgot about it?
Yeah,
Nobody knows about it.
we're the only ones that'll say it ever again. Yeah. So here I am. I'm sitting here with Jacob Ryan Quinn, North Tonawanda resident. He does have a political science degree, and really, I mean, let's get into something though about January 2021, that audit. You know, that audit comes, and it appears that you'll probably know this better than I. There was something about where they didn't have enough money to fund just to do payroll, and they took it from another what would you call it? Spot, I don't want to say spot, but you get my point. They take it from somewhere else, another fund, and they are using it for payroll. The auditor, New York State auditor, you know, comes in and says, "Hey, you guys aren't paying attention. What the hell's going on here?" You know, to everybody. Parrish, now, does he resign or get fired? How did that happen with him?
He actually resigned because he got tapped to get a better job in the county under county clerk.
Right. I am sorry. It just cracks me up. You know why. I'm sorry. Man, think about this. You got the Buffalo Billions guy.
Yeah.
Gets out of prison. This guy. And now he's the PIO. I mean, that's my thing. Like, how the hell do you, with a straight face, not you, I mean them, look at the public and say, here he is, you know, we're going to give you this guy $80,000 to be a public information officer. And I got to tell you the truth. You could be the public information officer. I could be the public information officer. I'm hearing feedback back there. I'm hearing. Hold on one second, because I can't. That's all right. Okay, because it's hard. I can't go. So you know what I mean? That just really. You know, it's got to stop. That's the kind of stuff's got to stop. You can't. I mean, there's more too. I got all the names. I'm forgetting them right now of the people that have had misconducts. Perfect example, Pascari. She's in Lockport. Her husband's the one that's running in the 4th district, you know, in the Falls. But she gets fired in Lockport, you know, by the mayor for whatever was insubordination. And where does she wind up? In the county, working for the county in the public defender's office as a confidential secretary, and the guy who passed petitions for her husband is in charge over there. So, you know, you got a question over there, Robin? Oh, geez, I almost fell.
Listener again.
Yeah.
She says, do you own a home? Please ask him if he owns a home in NT and pays property taxes here.
I do not. I actually am renting. My job makes me travel sometimes, so I don't feel that I need to get an apartment. Not that it has anything to do with our current conversation, but Kate, I do appreciate your constant support, and I do look forward to your comments. And you too, James. So I eat it up.
Why does that even matter?
It doesn't
when
matter.
When you are a renter, you are helping that landlord who owns that home in North Tonawanda. So, pointless question. Let's try to brighten it up, I guess, because this shouldn't be an attack. It should be to get to know Mr. Jacob Riley Quinn.
Right, and that's what we're doing here. We're going to get to know, and we are now, and we got about, let's we should probably take a break, maybe, right? Because I don't want to get into this because we only got a couple minutes to our normal break time. We'll take a break. Is that okay? Wade?
Yeah,
We'll take a quick.
We'll be back in 2 minutes.
Yes, we'll be right back. All right, and we're back. Citizens United. I'm sitting with my guest, Jacob Ryan Quinn. He is a political scientist and has the degree, and he is in politics. He is a Republican. He told us that he is, now we got to get to know, we're going to get to know him a little bit. He told us that he would consider himself a conservative, but center-right type guy. George W. a little bit minus the drinking.
Yeah.
And, okay, that's what we got. And I want to know all right, so we had this audit we were just talking about before we took a break, and those now Austin and Tyler and Pecoraro were aldermen at the time.
Yeah.
Why should they? This is the thing. At that point, you're that neglectful. Why should you be mayor? You know what I'm trying to say? That was a pretty big,
It was mismanagement.
Yeah.
I mean, to tell you the truth, like I said, I'm voting for Bob. I do support him, but you're right. I think that everybody on the council, minus Frank DiBernardo, because he came in, he was appointed after the fact, so he had nothing. He was not involved in that whatsoever. He's, from my understanding, a good guy. But all those people should be held accountable. I remember when people on Facebook were knocking Austin about that. And I'm not saying he's innocent because there's two sides of that story. But I'm saying that everyone on that council, everyone who took part in the city, which would be Matt Parrish, the mayor, a city accountant, who technically that's pretty much who handles the budget, was those three people. So I mean, those guys are really the responsible one. But I do like Art Pappas, and I feel bad for what happened to him in the whole situation. How he got snubbed out of that. But, it is what it is. I mean, but yeah, you would think that if they were that fiscally responsible, any of these characters, Donna Braun or Eric Zilka, that there would have been time to see this coming. It's almost like they're making it sound like it's the Titanic, like they didn't see the iceberg coming right ahead. It's
right. Well, what Austin Tyler, Robert Pecoraro, if I go to their website, would I see anything that would tell me what isn't what does Austin plan? He's elected. What's next? You know what I'm trying to say? Is there development he's talking about? Is there anything? that you know of?
No, I don't believe so. I don't really go on his page. The last time I checked it, he had something about him being absolutely delicious on there when he was making his mayoral page. But my thing with this is, once again, and I actually kind of ran with this for a while until people started calling me, yelling at me, was I believe that right now, even with it being an election year, it should be issues over optics. But unfortunately, North Tonawanda, that's not what happens. I mean, they're taking credit for an economy right now. Like, a business will come into North Tonawanda.
Okay.
And they'll, on their own recognizance, like the city gave them a tax break or
Right,
anything
okay.
like that. And they'll go to the opening ceremony and make these speeches. It's like they did nothing other than be the figurehead, be the alderman. But they want to take credit for all this economic development. It's like, what economic development? And I mean, the city of North Tonawanda could really use a facelift. I've talked to many officials on many times that they should give Benderson a tax write-off for 10 years so that they can redevelop with the Mid-City Plaza, the heart of our city. And that plaza it was made in the 70s. Like, it's old, it's dilapidated, and that's in the center of the city. Our city officials right now are only focused on riverfront, and it is a hot commodity to have riverfront, but there's more to NT. There's more. I mean, if you come in NT, someone once told me, actually, it was Mayor Pappas. He calls this play NT, it's like paradise on earth, because because it's just so beautiful. You take one of those drones and you go over the city of North Tonawanda on a nice summer day. There's nowhere else you'd rather live. You know?
Well, I will tell you this about NT, and I said this about Lockport too. Those downtowns and their main streets and all that, it gives you a feeling of America. It has that Americana thing to it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's got that feel. You might even be parking diagonal. I mean, there's really cool stuff going on. And, like, there's that big clock tower, and there's all kinds of stuff. When I go to NT for the festival, I mean, it's just incredible. What the buzz, the action that's going on there. Niagara Falls gets that action. Niagara Falls gets 9 million people that come through yearly. And, we cannot in Niagara Falls capture anything. But I'll tell you this. We have given a lot of stuff away to NFR, Niagara Falls Redevelopment. Robin, is there something?
I do. I have a question from Kevin Al Young, better known as Kevin from Pendleton.
Okay.
He says, Mr. Quinn, you've mentioned Dems' hypocrisy. Let's be equal opportunity critics now. What's your opinion on the current GOP in Niagara County and everyone else, John, myself, and others, are exposing?
Well, I believe that right now I believe the two-party system is a broken system and it will end democracy as we know it, Kevin from Pendleton. I believe that no matter where you go and no matter where you look, when people are too tribalized and too institutionalized by their party affiliation, I believe that's where the problem lies. You're right. Are the Republicans hands clean? Absolutely not. But I believe in a lot of the values that they believe. Not in all of them. Not in, not in the friends and family plan. I don't believe that necessarily. I believe that they just need to remember the little guy. I was talking to somebody about Niagara County politics, and I think the real issue right now in Niagara County politics is you have two sects of this. It's the haves and the have-nots. And I think the haves are too disenfranchised with the have-nots. And that is the biggest issue we're faced. We have all like the top county guys, Demos or Republicans, and you know what? They're not in touch. They're not walking down Main Street in Niagara Falls. They're going to their country clubs. They're going to their nice dinners. They're out of touch with what the people need in this county. And given this epidemic with COVID and everything, we're going to be hurting much more than ever. And you see like Mr. Restaino here brought up, you see no plans in action by any of these municipalities, not just NT, not just Niagara Falls. You see there's no plan. They're just trying to run it business as usual until the taxes in each one of your cities or townships are going to go through the roof. And that is the issue here. Nobody's paying attention. It's like, don't look at the man behind the curtain. Just keep.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's funny you say that. We've said it here a lot of times about these people being out of touch. We were talking about Niagara Falls. I mean, 8 murders in 1985 was our highest, and back in 1985, I bet you we almost had 100,000 people there. Now we have 48,000, and we had like 22 last year, and we're having one a month now, just a couple days ago. And yeah, there it is. There it was on 16th Street. This was right on Memorial Day weekend. I mean, a young man gets shot dead. I mean, just right there. It's bright, beautiful, sunny day, and you're right. And that's even the county legislators. I don't think they. You know what happens, and I've had this discussion with some councilmen in Niagara Falls. They think they're okay. They go in there and they're the legislative branch. That's the council. That's it. I'm the legislative branch. The mayor, he's out of touch. The whole deal. No one wants to take that step out of the bubble, like you're saying, and it has to happen because the city of Niagara Falls, and it's really the crowning. Niagara Falls needs to go well for Niagara County to go well, and Niagara Falls is sick. I mean, really, really sick. I mean, hey, do you go to the falls at all downtown? Do you ever get around down there?
I do go during daylight hours.
Right. Well, yeah. Right. And it's. When you go there, you get down near the casino area, which that in itself was a big mistake, giving that away like we did years ago. And I just told you 9 million people when it's not COVID are coming through, but they're just passing through.
Mm-hmm.
We have something, Robin? I'll go to the Facebook question. Go ahead.
Okay. James Hill again. So
Okay.
Is he planning on running for North Tonawanda mayor in the future? I know he ran for the school board, so he has dreams of being in politics. What are his goals?
Good question.
That is a great question.
Right.
Thank you, James Hill. So, to be honest with you, I'm veering more towards the private sector. Maybe someday when I'm a little bit older and I'm more mature, but right now I want to help the public in a privatized way. I don't want to have shackles to what I say and what I do. And I was actually, if you don't mind, I was going to bring that up.
No.
And I think one of the big issues is with the county, like the gentleman from Pendleton, is that too many times when people are running for politics, they accept favors, we'll call it, and then they're expected to owe these said people in return. So even if you had these good ideas, and even if you have a plan for them, if the people who you got favors from don't agree with you, you're going to be shot. You're going to be done. You're going to be done. And that's even an issue too. You know what doesn't make sense to me, and you're going to really see it. If all hell breaks loose and Austin does win the mayor election, people forget that technically our council is still a Republican majority. The mayor is more of an optical seat, anyways. It's more for he's going to marry people and he's going to cut ribbons, but
Right.
he can't do anything without the council's approval. So now you're going to see either they have to win more than just the mayoral seat, or Austin's just going to be a figurehead. He's going to have run for nothing, and people have elected him expecting change. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to get nothing.
Well, now there's no primaries, right? This will be decided in November.
Yeah.
There's nothing happening June 22nd
Unless
in
you
North.
choose to write in Quinn, because James Hill thinks I should run.
Yeah, not a bad idea. Now, are you? Is there anything else happening in NT? Nothing, right? Because I know in the falls we got some judges and we have some stuff. Obviously, we got the county judge with Benedict and all that happening.
No, your typical legislative
Okay.
races, city clerk, treasurer.
That stuff. Okay. Yeah.
Nothing.
What do you think about Ottaviano?
I don't know him enough, to be completely honest.
Who does?
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I know.
I from what I hear, he's the pick, but I don't know. I like I said, I don't know enough about these people. I mean, I hear he's pretty big in Lockport, but out in NT, other than the yard signs, I have no idea really anything about the guy. I guess
Yeah.
he served in some capacity in law. I don't know if it's criminal law. But
No.
The only time it was criminal law is when he was in.
I think an intern or something was said. Yeah. Like he's never selected a jury or nothing.
So I don't understand how somebody who's
Yeah.
running for Niagara County judge who's never picked a jury in his life can be running for such a high position.
Well, well.
We know why, but that's neither here nor there. The obvious choice, if you're looking at credentials,
Has to be Mike Benedict. Yeah, it has to be. Has to be. Yeah, if you're just looking at fairly as yeah.
who should be the judge or not, and the judge race shouldn't be political at all.
Yeah.
And it's horribly, it's so political. It's almost, it's bad. Yeah, go ahead.
I'll say this. I think that Mike Benedict strategically, even if he didn't think he was going to win against Judge Witasick, I think he strategically did well to run in this race because his name was already out there. And I will counter what you guys did say. You said it's not supposed to be political, and I don't know the guy. I heard he was Republican for many years until Trump was in office. But I know that he tried a little run at NT using Austin. He used him. Like I said, Austin's only good to be used. He's not actually, like, he doesn't contribute really anything to North Tonawanda. He just likes to be used by other people. I was gonna, but it is what it is.
Yeah, well, I Benedict, that whole thing, it's the most important seat we got going, judge. I mean, how can you, I always think that, like, city court judge, county court, I mean, these are huge, these are life and death things, and, game, there's so many games played, and Wade, we know it, we know what's going on. But,
you know what I will say?
Go ahead, no, sure, go ahead.
And I don't think this is wrong of me to ask, because I saw something actually about that gentleman you just named off. What's his name?
Fabiano.
I saw a picture of him with Andrew Cuomo, and the picture is I have the picture, but the picture is no longer accessible on Facebook.
Right.
But you'd think that like these people would condemn Cuomo if they want or not hide it. Like that's what I don't get about it. Like with the Austin picture, he's trying to hide what he did. If there's nothing wrong with the picture, why are you hiding it? Why are you backtracking? Or with that other judge, if there's nothing wrong with you and Andrew Cuomo shaking hands with a picture of you from 20 years ago, right. What's wrong with like if there's not? But it must be their consciences, acting up.
And I will hand it to the mayor of Niagara Falls. He didn't hide. He didn't hide his connection with them. I mean, he put it out there proudly. He showed it. And the thing that got me was, though, the reaction by Republicans and even Democrats. It doesn't even matter because up here we don't like the governor. We never had, and they go. That's what kills me. Niagara Falls needs help from the state, terribly, and help like even in just giving us some. I know they won't, but like the bed tax. We obviously have that kind of a community there. Obviously it's a huge tourist town. It's one of the biggest in the country when you think about it. And there's the moratorium on the short-term rentals that happened last night. Now, I don't know if you know about those, the short-term rentals, it's just your bed and breakfast, your Airbnbs. And in Niagara Falls, they've been unregulated. So they've been anywhere, pretty much in everywhere. Like you could have a night in your house you might not want. You bought a house and now here is an Airbnb right next to you. So what the problem is, the mayor, and I think the council does too, they're looking to try to, they put a moratorium on it because they got to get a handle on what's going on. There's probably like 150 of them out there that are just running with nothing. You got to get bed tax out of them. You got to get all that stuff. And, man.
I actually disagree with that.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. The American dream is all about people coming to this country and building themselves up. I'm somebody who believes in less taxes and more freedoms. Like I said, big government sucks. It's the less control government has on your life, the better. And it's just, I think should there be? See, that's tough for me to say because I'm not that in a position to make those calls. But I do believe, obviously, can't get crazy, but I don't see what's wrong with somebody. It's their own property. They pay their taxes. Why should the city have a say in who you have in it and how you operate?
That's the argument. I mean, that's
in Florida, though,
yeah.
It makes you so you have the.
Well, that's the thing. That's that's the annoying thing. Yes, I mean how New York State has handcuffed us. I mean us. I mean when you're talking about Niagara Falls and all of the tourism that comes, we don't ever. How about we go after? Like, I don't want to say go after. I'd rather get our revenue from the tourist than from the homeowner or from the
That's a similar issue we're having in North Tonawanda too. We're at the deficit with our rainy day fund because we blew it all on salaries. But at the same time, they just passed something in the city that you could, if you have any bulk out and it's not the allotted days, you can get fined and ticketed up to $1,000.
Jeez.
And instead of looking for solutions, they're only trying to put this on the citizens, and that's what rubs me the wrong way. It's the politicians in both Niagara Falls and NT that got us into this financial mess and mismanagement. But instead of looking at different ways to actually get revenue and income, they're putting it once again on the taxpayers.
Yeah, Niagara Falls got a garbage fee, a heavy one too, per can. And the funny thing is, when they were handing out those cans way back when they privatized garbage, they were giving people as many as they wanted because it didn't matter. Oh yeah, you want 5, you want 6. Next thing you know, garbage fee, and people are waking up to a $2,000 bill because they're putting it right on the head of the thing, and I don't even know if anything's been ever resolved on that.
I would have took a few garbage cans if I didn't know it was going to cost X amount of money. So
yeah, in the beginning, yes, in the beginning, people were taking 4. Hey, I'll go ahead. They would say, and they would tell them. I remember her last name I think was D'Angelo too, who was the one who was passing them out, if I remember correctly.
That's what's wrong with local government these days, is that that's why you pay already so much in taxes to begin with. In a city, when you pay your taxes in a city, that should come with the taxes you paid. Garbage, services, tree services, a parks and recs department. That's what everybody is paying for in that city. When you that's the difference between a township or a hamlet or a village, is that they're not paying a lot in taxes. And yeah, sure, you have privatized garbage or stuff like that. That's acceptable. That's understandable. What doesn't make economic sense is that you're looking at a city that's already, like North Tonawanda just raised its taxes like 3%, and now they're going to fine people for having their garbage out before bulk week. It's like, I'm sorry, we're already paying an upwards of 3%. You would think that we'd have more of a bulk pickup.
Right.
And we used to, but now with the new appointees and everything, it's those unions, they want to work less and get paid a lot.
I want to ask you about them. What about like the police and fire? I know what goes on in Niagara Falls with them. They control Niagara. They do. They control Niagara Falls. They pretty much do. The police union, the fire union. I mean, they say there's like 1 fire captain to every 3 firemen. Like there's that's said. I don't know if that's true, but if that's not, I'm sorry. But what about in NT? What's it like there with?
I think the police in the city are being used, and I don't even know if they know it, if they're that ignorant to it, but the police in this city are just there for the votes. That's all that they are for. That's why that Zolak or whoever, or no, it's not. I'm trying to think of who the current head of the police department is. But that's the problem, is that the people in charge are so smart. They all give them credit where credit's due. And they're milking. That's why the DPWs are getting such a sweet deal. That's why the police we have more police than we need in North Tonawanda. We do. But the reason we keep hiring, and obviously it's friends of friends or sons of friends, is because those are votes. And that's why Eric Herbert isn't running against Jesse Gucci again, is because he realized that the power lies within the union. And that's why he's the president of the NTPBA, if you didn't know that.
I did not know that, no.
That's another guy who's just power hungry. He doesn't care about the people. He just wants to be glorified. That's all these people want. They don't want real change. They just want to be patted on the back and like the kiss the ring kind of situation.
Robin, is there a question?
Yes. Ann Murphy says, what's Mr. Quinn's opinion on North Tonawanda's contract with the Niagara Reporter?
I think I disagree with that opinion, to be quite clear. I think that was a waste of $25,000. I think that they don't even cover NT like they said. Was it supposed to be like 1 or 2 full pages?
Yeah.
I don't see it anywhere. I mean, that reporter, and you know what the problem is it's all propaganda piece. You want to talk about propaganda.
Yeah.
That is all that you see. You never see both sides of a story in that. You only see
right.
It's pay to play, even with the Niagara Reporter.
So that would have been one area that you did agree with Tyler.
Yeah.
He was the only person that was against it on the council.
Yeah, I mean, Tyler, and I guess from my understanding, Nick D'Angelo have always butted heads. So I guess that they used
Everybody
to be.
should that with D'Angelo.
Well, yes, he's a real piece of work. He's a real scumbag. But the situation is I believe they used to be friends, from my understanding. They used to be friends, and then something happened. I heard that they used to be a couple almost, but I don't. This is just hearsay.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Who knows? I don't know, man.
I don't care. And I just want to address something.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
For all the people out there who want to refer to me as a homophobe or a bigot or whatever you want to refer to me as, just remember this: I was friends with Austin's lover at the time, all those years ago. I have no issue who you are, what denomination you're from, race, anything. I have no issue with you. If you're a productive member of the society and you want to do something productive, all the power to you. I support that. But just to try to negate what Austin did and try to tear down me because he may or may not have dressed as Hitler, that's him. That's a him issue. That's not a me issue. But I'm not homophobic. I don't care that. He'll never admit this. But when I used to live across the street from him, when him and Micah broke up, he brought over my daughter, like one of those 6-foot teddy bears with like a big heart. And I texted him like a man to man. I said, "Hey Austin, we have our differences, but I appreciate the gesture in which you gave my daughter a teddy bear." He won't admit to any of this, but it's true. It happened. And like I said, he's one person. He's like Bob Brennan in North Tonawanda. He can be a million different things to a million different people. And that's not somebody we want as a mayoral candidate in North Tonawanda.
Yeah, and if that is the truth, Jacob, then if that's the truth, then he fits right in to sadly, to our to what leads us here, because people, right? I mean, you guys know that. I mean, that's what we've been saying. I mean, it's I'm anybody in any room, so yeah, it's disheartening.
We've used that phrase a few different times talking within these past few weeks. To
Yeah.
He is who, not specifically Austin,
Right.
but just many people. They are who they want you to be.
Yeah.
They think that they are just wanting to make you happy.
Happy.
Don't
Right.
be that person.
Right.
Don't be that.
Yeah.
Be real.
Be real, right?
Now, just my own question.
Sure.
Did you form this opinion on Austin based on that picture, or that picture was found after your opinion of him was already pretty much sealed?
I truthfully don't agree with Austin's ideology for the most part. And I don't really believe in what he stands for or his character. So when he first ran against, what's his face, the guy who moved to the county, I'm trying to think.
I can't remember. It's
right.
okay. Yeah, we'll get it.
He ran against somebody else. I didn't like his attitude. He's very disparaging. Instead of trying to work with people, he tries to bring people down in the process. Like I said, he's trying to tear down North Tonawanda to build it up. He supposedly, through the grapevine, was in cahoots with the New York State auditor around the time they were getting audited, which is a big no-no.
Mm.
But at the same time, his rationale is he's going to destroy our city to build a new one. And although that is a form of creation, that is not a form of creation I want to see in the great, beautiful city of North Tonawanda.
Now, obviously, I would imagine you would disagree with his ideology. I'm assuming we would call your center right. He would probably be left. He's left. He's a Democrat
I
left.
think he's far left.
Okay, he's a far lefter, and so yeah, obviously you guys wouldn't agree on that. But what are turnouts like in NT?
It's funny you say that. NT is actually primarily Democrat. I think 1 out of 3,
Is it?
or 3 to 1 Democrat. But unfortunately, the Democrats tend not to vote, and the reason they tend not to vote is because that's just not on their priority list. And the only time that they did good, the Democrats in our city, was actually the school board election that I ran. Not to make this about me at all, but it was the highest turnout of school board election I ever had. They had.
Wow.
Matt Kennedy, the school board president, got like 2,700 votes.
Jeez.
Do you think that was only because of COVID, though?
Yeah, no, because if you look at the trend this year, actually, there might have been only 300 votes for each person, and I don't even think there was a Republican running. When I ran, I only got 750 votes, but if you look at it from normal times, maybe I would have done good, but it's neither here nor there.
Right. Yeah.
I would run again. That was definitely an election year that so many people voted, so many people were talking about it. When's the last time you've heard so much talk about a school board race before?
Yeah.
Right.
It was very, you're my friend, you could write your vote in for me. You could write in, you could send it in through mail. So imagine the out there door-to-door
Right.
knocking and getting that stuff
Yep.
done. Which,
Yeah.
I will say this, though, and I think that Bob Pecoraro will have an issue. If Cuomo was smart and he wanted to help out the Democrats, he would keep open, not that I agree with this, but if it's a mail-in ballot for this upcoming election in T, I would be nervous, personally.
Mm.
Because, like you just said, it's not too hard to have your buddy write some in, then you mail it in for him. it's like it kind of takes away all the work. You could just, and there's a lot of voter fraud with that too. So it's like,
Well, like what? I was just going to ask you something about this, about these two. So like, obviously, it is so much different because we don't have to go door to door anymore. I mean, it's not happening. Signatures it isn't the same way. It just isn't. It's not the same way anymore. Does Mr. Pecoraro ever acknowledge things about Mr. Tyler? Like these things that you're bringing forward, will he acknowledge them, or does he just try to stay above the fray of that?
I think he acknowledges them behind closed door, but I don't think Pecoraro is running his own campaign.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that says it all then, right there.
I think you will see, not a spoiler alert, but I do think you will see things of this nature coming out closer to the election time, like the Republicans tend to do. I can't say for sure. Like I said, I'm sort of out of the loop. So, I mean, but I wouldn't be surprised if you saw a mailer or any of the things I talked about tonight. I'm not a fortune teller, but, if I were to be betting my odds here, I would probably say that desperate times call for desperate measures.
Right, and we got a lot of time to November, and a lot of things can change. I know we're coming towards the end. And I appreciate you being here, man. This time flew. We could do another hour.
I was having a lot
3.
of fun.
Yeah, you'll be back because it is a lot of fun. And Robin, is there anything you need to cover over there? Okay. You know what I want to do here? You got the last 3 minutes. Jacob, just say something to the people, to what you've wanted to say. I know people have just. They every time you show up, you're a lightning rod, and then it just happens. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot, and I notice sometimes you don't even answer.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you can. Go ahead, man. Talk to the.
If I could leave you with anything, it'll be this. It's that, you got to use your best judgment when it comes to local politics. Who's going to actually do the job that you are voting them in for? And a lot of these politicians, they forget that we are their boss, in a sense. We elected them. They're elected officials. Their job is to serve us. And I think a lot of the times they forget that. And I think that if more people educated themselves in local policy issues, that the world, not just North Tonawanda, could be a better place. But unfortunately, more people are focused on their lives, and I get that too. But it doesn't take. If you could look at your phone once a day, you could look up this stuff. If you really want to get involved, there are many outlets to do so. And I will leave you with this: any day, any time, Alderman at large, Tyler, you want to come on here and debate, man to man, face to face, and have a serious discussion, I would love to. You've called me a liar, and I'm not making this anything else than it needs to be. I would just love to have a conversation with you. On here, anywhere, you pick your venue, but to hide behind other people and to bring down my character when I've done nothing to you personally, maybe as a politician, sure, I may have criticized, but that's the job you took on when you sought to be in the office you choose. So that's all I'm saying. If you ever want, I'm giving you the opportunity. I want to thank John and everybody here at the studio for allowing me to come on and to state my case and to give you the 411 on Niagara County politics.
Well, thank you, Jacob. Obviously, you're going to be back. I appreciate you coming in. I appreciate you. We've been working at this, getting you to come in. We've been working at it for a little bit, and I'm glad you did, and I hope you will come back again. Tonight, real quick, can we put up the picture of Elena real fast before we go? Elena DiPaolo is a friend, and you can see right there, she already beat cancer, and now she has kidney disease, and stage 4. She needs a donor. Look at the information. Call the number. They will.
I know it's a little blurry and hard to see, but it's 716-898-5001. Once again, 898-5001. She's blood type A positive.
I've called the number. I spoke to the people. I told them it was for Elena. That's why I was doing it. They sent me a packet. I filled it out, sent it back, and that's all it is. And now you wait and see. Do you have, are you going to go on for further testing or not? But remember, Elena, she's got little ones, and please, think about it. At least just share it with others, and then and see what happens. Now tonight we're going to be signing off here for a couple minutes. I don't know, maybe 5-10 minutes, but then we'll be back. We have a local woman who is going to come on with us. She's pretty resilient. and she has a story of a lot of pain she took and maybe a lot of hope. So we'll be back shortly. Thank you, everyone.